Hi everyone, so Elizabeth and I are on our way out of Petropolis and to a place called Paraty about 4 hours south of here. In this video, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but the first thing I'd like to talk about, we might talk about other things later, is purchasing things in Brazil online and other ways if you're not a Brazilian. So all Brazilians have, is it a tax ID number? I don't know if it's a tax associated number, but it's essentially a number associated with every single Brazilian citizen. And the number is called a CPF number, and that CPF number is used essentially everywhere. It's used with the government, it's used with the healthcare system. It's used when you're purchasing things at a grocery store instead of the grocery stores having their own unique number associated with you for that particular grocery store. For discounts within that grocery store, they use your CPF number. So it's used everywhere, and it's used online. So I recently was trying to purchase something online, and the CPF number is a required field. So every time, and this has happened I haven't been able to purchase anything online here because in order for me to purchase anything online, you have to fill in that CPF required field, and I'm not a Brazilian and don't have a CPF number. So we have had to use Elizabeth's name, address, and CPF number to purchase everything that we've been purchasing online, which isn't a lot of stuff because there's not a whole lot to purchase online here in Brazil. But we have purchased a few things, and each time that CPF number is required. So, I don't know what to do if people were just traveling around Brazil and they weren't Brazilians and didn't know a Brazilian in Brazil, because I haven't been able to purchase anything without that number. And the second thing is if you want to rent a car, so if you're renting a car online, you also are required to fill in that CPF field. And this has been a problem for us because the one time, well, we've rented several cars, but one time we rented a car online and then and used my credit card online, and we had to use Elizabeth's name because we had to fill out the CPF field. And then when we got to the rental agency and we were planning on taking the car, the name on the credit card was my name and the reservation was under Elizabeth, so they wouldn't allow us to rent the car. So, and then it took 15 or so days for us to get the money back. It took about 15 days for us to get the money back for that reservation, and in the moment there we had to create a new reservation. If you just go to the car rental agency, I'm able to rent a car straight. I don't need a CPF number. But doing anything online seems to require, it's one interesting way of controlling the population, or controlling the ability of people who are not Brazilians to do anything in Brazil. And I wonder where all that data goes to. If that data goes, all that data goes to the government whenever you enter your CPF number somewhere, whether or not the Brazilian, it's an interesting way of doing it, and it's an excellent way of collecting data on the population, but it doesn't seem like the government's using that data very effectively here. It's just making it more difficult for people who are not Brazilians to do anything here, particularly anything online. Elizabeth, do you have anything to say on the subject matter?
O CPF é número de identificação dos brasileiros. É cadastro de pessoa física, o significado das letras. Seria bom se esse número fosse usado para um melhor controle e distribuição de acesso, mas não é isso que acontece. O CPF ele acaba sendo um mecanismo de burocratização dentro dos processos aqui do Brasil. É isso.
Yeah, so that's the first part of this video. We might have another part. I don't know. I might just show you some pictures of our trip to Paraty. It should be a pretty beautiful trip because we will be traveling by the ocean for most of the trip. So I might show you some pictures of that. I don't know. We might continue discussing various things in this video or create a new video. See you. The other interesting thing about the CPF number, obviously, if it's being used everywhere, it's a public number versus in the United States where you have a social security number, and that number is not meant to be made public because that number is dealing with your tax and with opening accounts, and you don't want the public to know your social security number, even though you often give it when you're filling out registration at a health insurance. I mean, at a medical facility, when you're going to university, you give your social security number, but it's generally meant to be a private number for you, and of course the government knows your number because it's a tax ID number. But here the CPF number is just public.
To stay on Estrada Union.
So we're on the Green Coast heading to Paraty. It's beautiful here. The coast is beautiful, and it's obviously a resort area for Brazilians because we passed by Club Med. If you know anything about Club Med, it's like a well-known resort that is located in different countries around the world. Yeah, we've also seen a lot of fires, a lot of burning, which I haven't seen as many as we've been traveling around Brazil as I've seen today. Literally in every village there's been at least one fire. Sometimes what looks like it's just burning vegetation, but other times it looks like they're also burning trash. But the trip this time has been really beautiful. It's really beautiful here, and so we're on the coast. The coast we're on is called Costa Verde, or the Green Coast, because of how green it is and how beautiful it is. So this has been a beautiful trip, and this video will include several images of our trip down to Paraty.